I'm ChosenArchitect, and this is Mystical Block. As you can see, I've done a little bit more building. I've got sort of this laid out, a little bit of a pathway that sort of leads around to all of these access points. And I've sort of decorated a little bit with some leaves just to give it a little bit more texture because I felt it was very, very bland. I think all of these islands are going to need some sort of foliage in them to make them feel alive. I really don't like the out of nature feel that sort of comes with modded Minecraft from time to time. But getting back into our world here, there's some things that I want to do. First of all, we set up a mob farm, but we didn't quite filter out last episode all of the like things we don't really want, such as like leather boots and like bows and stuff like that. We want to be able to filter those out. Now, to make the pipes from the pipes mod, which would be the easiest way to filter things out, well, they've changed the recipe in here, oddly enough, and made it require quite a bit of leather. Thankfully, you get 16 of these conveyor belts for the 3 leather, so we could go about going ahead and just killing some of the cows that we have to get those 3 leather to make these. But of course, me being ChosenArchitect, I want to be a little bit more complicated about it. And in doing so, I want to start working on developing and crafting the animal seeds. So there are cow seeds that we can make, but they require soul jars. And then they also require these solarium based seeds. Now, luckily for us, this isn't too difficult to obtain now because we've set up a mob farm. Now, to get the solarium dust, all we have to do is smelt gunpowder. Thankfully, we have tons of it now because of our mob farm. So the whole reason of getting the mob farm first before going towards the passive mobs was specifically for this reason. I want to eventually have all the seeds. Like, that's of course going to be one of the goals of the pack, at least a personal goal of mine. And we will eventually be able to automate all of these seeds in botany pots, and they won't have to be farmed or anything like that. They'll just be working out in a botany pot with some upgraded soil. So in that case, let's go ahead and figure out how to get these soul jars. There's a couple of different ways we can go about doing it. One of those ways is, well, we can craft them. So we can craft the actual raw material for these seeds. We can craft them inside of a soul extractor. A soul extractor is basically the dagger, the machine frame that's a part of this mod, and some of the base materials we've already made, like the solarium we made our sword out of. These are the soul daggers, which will allow us to technically farm the mobs directly. So we would kill the mobs, they would go into the jar, and then we would collect them. I think that is going to be the best way to do it, but we don't have to use soul daggers because of the sword we made last episode. This has soul siphoner on it, which allows us to farm. So that's the reason why we made the sword. But we also run into another problem. How do we farm these passive mobs? Well, Mob Grinding Utils has us covered there as well. Now, this is going to be just like the mob farm that we set up, except it's going to be for passive mobs, and we're not going to have to farm it in the same way. So we are going to need 4 buckets, and we're going to be making the nutritious chicken feed. Yes, it is farmed pretty much the same way, and we take this over to our chickens, and yet again, there may or may not be a chicken harmed in the making of this video. Oh goodness, you gotta love it. And there we go. There we have it, a golden chicken egg. Now, I think one of the best ways to farm this, or to set this up, specifically the farm that we're going to be going for to kill them ourselves, is to just set up a 7x7 pin where the 5x5 is in the interior. That will allow this farm to be at its max capacity, and it will take up that much space. Now with the pin set up, we can go ahead and get this spawned in. So simply, boop. And now we have all these animals that we can, well, take care of or soulify, right? But we're going to need the soul jars first, so it's going to require a little bit of processing. But we should be able to get all of these individual animals into a soul jar. I don't know how much we're going to need. Horse souls? I don't think that's going to be an unfortunate killing procedure that I think is going to happen there. Oh, and it looks like I didn't build out my farm quite big enough. So I'm going to have to fix that as well. But there we go. We have ourselves a bunch of passive mobs that are going to spawn in really fast. Now, there's one problem that this farm has, and it causes grass to grow. So we do need a way to clear this out, and I think just doing it by hand for right now is probably the best bet. But yeah, grass, when it grows up in here, it will no longer function. So we got to make sure to keep the grass out. So it's been a long time since I've used these, but I think that that's how this is going to work. The soul jars, we have them. We're going to need 4. And so I need to make the soul glass. That's pretty straightforward. I'm pretty sure I have the soul dust. Soul dust. Oh no, these are different. This is solarium dust. We need soul itself dust, which comes from cooking cobblestone. Oh boy, this is like a multi-craft. Okay, so this gets compressed, this gets turned into soul stone, and then it gets cooked again, and then it gets cooked again. Okay, well, at this point, I now need to upgrade our furnaces. Yes, I think at this point, it is time to go through the furnace quest line, because this is going to require a lot of smelting, and that means we need to do it a little bit quicker. And if we can make all the way up to at least a Supremium or Imperium, we're going to be able to smelt way faster, and maybe just get away with 1 furnace. So yeah, these have extended crafting recipes, each requiring just the upgraded essence. So I'm going to be farming essence for a bit. Now currently I'm manually farming all of this essence for these things, but I'm wondering, it shouldn't be too hard to kind of get an at least an auto harvester going, so I can just run around and I don't have to hold down vein mine. So there is a harvester that I could use that's from Cyclic. It's really nice, and it will sort of gently harvest is probably the best way to put it. And gently harvesting means that it will not break the entire crop. It's just going to do exactly what I would do, and it would kind of just take the stuff off and restart the growing process. So in that regard, let me see if I can't make one. Of course, it is going to need some power. That'll get sorted out later on. For right now, we can probably just use a generator on it. Preferably one from Cyclic, which would probably work. If we place this down, right now it is facing the wrong way. But if we place it this way, we should be able to sort of preview this and get this to go the way that we want. We can use a scroll wheel, by the way, to set the harvest range. And let's see, one more lower will be a 9x9. That is perfect. That's perfect harvest range. And as soon as this gets some power, we should be able to get this harvesting. So I have a generator underneath here, and this should harvest. However, it's not going to have an inventory just yet. We also need to make sure it's always on. You can see it's harvesting right now. Perfect. And of course, as we go through, it's harvesting. Now, it's not collecting. So that's where another machine is going to come into play that should be able to collect all these things. And that is going to be a cyclic item collector. Super easy to set this up as well. It's just going to collect the items. It is pretty straightforward. Now, as soon as we collect the items, which we don't want to be collecting eggs, so we're going to have to set the range, which we can preview, and lower this way down because it's, yeah, there we go. 9x9. Let's make it a little bit larger. So just right about there. That way it collects all the items that go on the outside bounds. But this should be collecting the items. You see right there, they're all going in. It's doing the harvest. Of course, I have my magnet on, so it's collecting the items as well. But we want to send Inferium seeds to the trash for right now. And we want to take this essence and we want to send it into a new system. So I want to set up, I think, an RF Tools crafter for this. Now, I think an easy way to set up the solution for this particular setup is to use item cables from Cyclic, and we're going to filter with the storage drawer mod. So that's going to be kind of interesting. I have a tier 2 crafter here, and what I should be able to do is just simply get a energy pipe to get the energy moved from this and sort of share it and put that into our crafter here. Now, there should be enough crafting recipes, I think, in this one. You know what? Let me just go ahead and upgrade this one to the next tier, just to make sure we have enough to be able to do that. I don't know where it went. The item just disappeared, apparently. Oh, it's in the collector, of course. Okay, so what we want to do is upgrade the crafter to the next tier. So there we go. So now we have a tier 3 crafter. That's going to make sure we can provide enough recipes. We're going to talk about this machine here in a moment. It's receiving power from the bottom, but what we need to do is pipe the items into here, but we need to trash Inferium seeds. So I'm going to set up a barrel right here, And now this barrel is going to be connected into this. And what I need to do is I need to say, okay, items. I need specifically Inferium Seeds to go in here. And any more than what this drawer can hold, I need them to be voided. That's going to allow my item cable to work incredibly fast and only send what we put inside this filter to go in. So in that case, we're going to need essence, and we're going to have to start crafting all of our individual crafts in here. And I think we can go for now up to Supremium essence. I think that's going to be the best thing. So we can downcraft this, making sure we have at least one of each individual type of essence. And I think we only need one master infusion crystal for this. So what I want to do is inside of my grid, I want to make sure that I have room for each one of these and assign them a slot. And then I also want a slot for my master infusion crystal. Now, every other slot, I want it to be gone. I want it to only accept nothing. So I'm going to use this to sort of clear it out. Actually, I don't even think Supremium essence needs to be in here because Supremium essence is going to go into the output down here. So what we can do is hit remember, and that is going to remember all of these items that we have associated to those slots. So in the input slot, there now it shouldn't be able to accept anything except for Inferium, and of course have room for these to do their consecutive crafts. Now I get to go in and I get to change this. So I think exit C is exactly the setting that I want for all of these individual crafts. And I'm going to place this in here and then use this master infusion and then hit apply. That's going to create our first craft here. And it should do the auto craft, and it should keep the master infusion crystal inside the input, which is exactly what we want. We don't want it to leave the input. No. We actually need this to be on input. So this is the one we need until the final craft. So we'll reapply this, and then that should effectively work. Hopefully this all works. Because for some reason right now, this should be running and should have done the craft. There we go. So now it has done the craft and now it's turned it in. Okay, perfect. So moving into the next one, it's going to be the same process. This is going to go in here, infusion crystal, input. And then we can hit apply. Now we have the next tier. And we just keep doing this until we have this crafting all the way up to Supremium. Now, just on the last one, like I said, which is going to be the Supremium here. This last one, I'm going to put that crystal in. It's going to create Supremium, and then this is going to be the exit C, which is going to keep the infusion crystal in there, but it's going to send the Supremium down here. And we can turn this on to faster, so I'm just going to leave it on slow for right now because I don't think we're going to need it. But just us running around is probably going to be kind of a pain. Like, this is going to harvest them, but that's not exactly what we want in this situation. Let me go ahead and make sure to turn this on. Oh, don't shift right click. You have to right click with this to activate that. So there we go. That should be pulling the items out. Hopefully. Is it pulling the items? Doesn't seem to be pulling the items out. Supposed to be. So here's the problem with using cyclic pipes. They can cause a little bit of a problem because they can hold items inside of the pipe and get jammed up, and then you have no idea how they're going to work. So I think what I'm going to end up doing instead is sacrificing a couple of cows. Now all of this is in the process to be able to make more cows, so I'm not really worried. Now that we have that area set up, I could easily get a bit of leather here. Simply to be able to make the better item pipes. It's going to be so much worth it. Yeah, so much more worth it to get at least those basic item pipes up and running. They can be pretty fast once you have the upgrades in them. So let me go ahead and migrate all of this and utilize this leather to actually craft an item pipe. We're going to need conveyor belts for this though. So there's basic conveyor belts, which are cool in their own right. They have some really cool functionality. You can automate potions really cool with immersive engineering. But we're going to be just jumping to item pipes. I think it's going to be way more worth it. Now, are the upgrades crazy expensive? No, they're actually quite nice. And this will make it so that way we can use filters. So here we go. So we'll take it up to diamond tier. That is as far as I can go for right now. And we should be able to get that converted. Diamond tier is a tier where the filters unlock. So that should make this process quite easy now. So now that we have the item pipes, I am going to pipe out of the bottom of the item collector. I did go ahead and change the settings, and I just added 1 to the range to make it go down a little bit lower, and lower the size so it's not picking up chicken eggs. And so what we can do is send this here, and thankfully these pipes, they don't get clogged up. So it'll only send what it has the ability to send to. If there's no destination, it will not go. And we can just put the upgrade in. And now it should be sending all of the Inferium Essence that was in there into this to do the crafts. And as you can see, it's already crafting Supremium Essence. And then over here, it is just going to be voiding off those excess seeds. So now we've got to figure out a way to grow these. And I was looking, there are watering cans, and I almost wonder if the watering cans can be automated. Now, I've went ahead and made the watering cans, but I did realize that the watering cans, well, they're not that great. You can't like spam click them to get them to grow anything faster, but just holding down right click seems to do a pretty darn good job. It does grow them, but not super fast. So what I was thinking is maybe using modular routers to right click this. And so I'm going to place it on top of this flower right here in the center. Actually, this is not the center. One more back. We'll have this go back a little bit. And that should be in the center. That's definitely not the center. Oh gosh. This should be the center. So hard to get these placed in. And what I want is I want this activator module to be set to sneak. And I want the action to look below and make sure the down is selected so it activates on the down. And then we can go ahead. I have a security upgrade in here. I don't think we're going to need a security upgrade. It should be able to do it without it, but the only problem that comes with a security upgrade is, or the reason of not using it, is if you protect your claim, it may not be able to actually work in that claim. So just keep in mind, security upgrade's kind of nice for that. It kind of acts as you. And then I just have the watering can. You have to click on water to get it to initially work, but it does seem like it is working. I want to see if I can get some speed upgrades in here, and maybe that might make this work faster. Well, at least I thought I was going to get speed upgrades, as they require blaze rods. We just haven't gotten there just yet. Even though I could probably make some blaze dolls. Yep, this got me to do it. All right, well, we're getting our first blaze. And I just placed the doll in there, and then I just got to kill this guy when he spawns. Oh boy, here he comes. And I don't want my base to catch on fire. The only downside to the blaze. Okay, and I think he spawned a little bit in the wall, which may have led to his ultimate demise. Oh boy. So, yeah, we didn't get the drop, unfortunately. Probably ended up going into the void. But another doll in the works, and hopefully this one I should be able to take out. This also might be an interesting way of collecting the souls, instead of going to the nether for that. There we go. Now we have a rod. And I can use this to make a speed upgrade for modular routers. So after getting the max upgrades in there, this is definitely great for just leaving it while I work on other things and letting it harvest. But still, the fastest way is ultimately going to be just running it around in circles for right now. Yes, as you can see, growing them incredibly fast and letting the harvester do the harvesting. And I could manually put the items in, but I think the harvester works just fine here. At least I don't have to worry about managing the items. So after all of that, which is going to be kind of temporary, I'm going to be using the, I'm going to go ahead and get these upgraded right here. So I might be able to get up to Imperium. It is going to take quite a bit, as it does require the Imperium block. Maybe even Supremium? That's kind of pushing it though. So I just got to the Imperium version. The Supremium might actually be doable. Oh my god. Well, I'm missing one Supremium, but we should easily be able to actually make that. I think we're going to have this. Yeah. I just need, let's see. I just need a few more of the, actually I need more than one, but I'm going to need, let's see. Yeah, just a few more out of this. I think we should easily be able to do that by just, yeah, letting this do its thing again. And with that, we have enough. Oh my, we are about to have a Supremium one. This is going to be kind of intense because this now has a cooking speed of 4,000%. And so we need to smelt this, right? So let's put our fuel in here. Oh my, That is so much faster. So now that I have this insanely fast furnace, I was able to get several of the soul jars crafted up. My goodness, these do not go very far. So I want to use them on the very necessary things, right? Things that I definitely know I want to have. And that is definitely chickens. Chickens are kind of important. They have feathers, which allow us to upgrade our mob grinder. So I'm going to go for chickens first. And I'm going to go ahead and put this soul jar in my inventory. And let's see, will this work? I'm not seeing the souls go in the jar, which is kind of, oh, there it goes. So you can see 0.75 on that. Oh, and now it's at 1. So this does work. I don't know if it's better than a regular soul dagger though. I have no idea, but at least I know it is working. And I should be able to kill any chickens that spawn in here now to be able to increase my souls. So it may take a little bit, as chickens are of course not going to be the only thing I'm killing in here, but hopefully we should be able to get that, and along the way I'm going to have, I guess, plenty of resources from these guys as well. So I think instead of me going the sheep route, and for right now I think I'm going to go cow and chicken. I think that'll be the best course. So I wonder, can I also start farming cow? Good, because I can farm both of them together, and that'll make things go a lot smoother. So I will say using a soul dagger is way more effective. You get way more. Like, I'm getting a solid 1 for every chicken, not just like a point. So yeah, I think the soul siphoner is a little bit misleading, unless you had maybe a higher level soul siphon. Yeah, definitely soul dagger is the way to go. So after a lot of mobs killed, my goodness, I now have these soul jars completely filled up. Now, of course, I want to test the other soul, the soul extractor, this right here. This is going to require a bit to make. Let's see. I wonder how fast this actually is. Is this faster? Especially since I just went through this. I'm going to have to craft up solarium dust. So I'm going to need to go to my mob farm and get my... Oh, maybe I can get it in here. We might have enough. Let's see. I was just wondering if this is going to be faster or not to craft up the and to craft them via the soul extractor. So here we go. I have the soul extractor ready to go, and it does need a little bit of power. Now, what I'm wondering is, can I fill a soul jar faster with this method? Now, I do have these soul jars. I have to craft up another soul jar for this. So let's go ahead and try the sheep. So we put the jar in here, and then we put the ingredient, I believe, that we want it to turn into. Is that correct? Or is it the other way around? Let's see. It just shows soul extraction happening, but it doesn't show me exactly what I'm burning. You know what? I'm just going to say that it's probably going to be faster to actually just kill them with the solarium dagger, I think. So if we take back the dagger, I think we have to first, we have to get the soul jar. We have to get the mob in the soul jar first, and then we can grow it from there, maybe. Because it doesn't seem like I can just go ahead and say, oh, here's what the soul jar needs to be. So I don't think I can do that either by like right-clicking or anything. No, I have to actually kill the mob. So that puts a little bit in there, so now it knows what it is. So let's see, we're supposed to be able to put mutton in here. Oh, the soul jar needs to go over here. Oh, and this is just a fuel slot. Oh, okay, so maybe we don't actually have to kill him. So there we go. So if we fill this up with mutton, it's pretty slow. I don't know. This actually might be a more effective way of doing it, but you still have to kill the mobs in the first place to get the mutton. Either way, we now have the animal seeds that I was wanting, at least the chicken seeds and the cow seeds, because cow seeds can make milk, which is kind of nice. I think having the ability to craft milk for any mod that may need it is going to be very, very nice. So there we go. That is at least going to craft our cow seeds and then our chicken seeds, which could be great for feathers because mob grinding utils uses feathers. I love the chicken seeds so much. They're so cute looking. Are the cow seeds the same way? Oh my god, they are. They have a little animal face. Now, of course, ultimately, today I also wanted to be able to filter out all of that stuff. So we needed leather. Now I can craft leather. This is so nice. I can just craft it from the essence. Now I still have my item pipe, so I don't really need to worry about that too much, but oh, it's nice that we have access to a piping mod. Not my favorite texture on this mod. I will always complain about that. But it's still a very nice mod, and it has some cool functionality, because there's things that you don't even see here. You search up the pipes mod, this filter destination tool is really cool. You can actually select specific blocks that you want certain items to only go to, and it allows you to be very specific with your filters. And it's definitely something to probably look into. It's really cool. Now I'm setting up this advanced filter to just pull out all of the junk and send that into a trash can. So right here is a trash can, very simple item to make. And then inside of the actual item pipe, we should be able to say what items we actually want going out of our system over here and going into this trash can. Definitely recommend, though, setting it up like this and not placing the trash can in yet. Make sure the trash can is the last thing that you do. That way you don't end up voiding everything. I may or may not have done that before. Yeah, it's a thing. So looking at all my storage, the big culprit is going to be these. Now, things like this, I don't know, I kind of like that this is in here. But the bows and stuff, we definitely don't want bows. And these are like special gear that apparently bosses are spawning in here, which is kind of powerful. We also don't want arrows, I don't believe. I don't think arrows are going to be necessary right now. By the time we need them, we'll probably have EMC. And then crossbows. Oh, goodness. This is another item. It's just got crazy stats on it. This has 33% bonus speed while wearing it. That's crazy. And then there's a leather cap. So let's go ahead and set up the filters for some of these items. We place this in here, and we want to set this to whitelist mode. And if there's nothing in the whitelist, of course, everything's going to go through. But if we start to add things, specifically this, and we go ahead and remove the data, the MBT here, we can actually submit this, and now anything that's a golden helmet should be pulled out and voided. Right? That's exactly what we want to do. Now it's at this point that I should be able to put the trash can in, and I should not see items being pulled out. I should be able to see, okay, we put this helmet in here. It gets taken out and no longer gets put back in because it goes into the storage and then gets voided out. So that's exactly what we want happening there. Now bows, we're about to see a major thing happen with bows, because if I add the bows and we remove the data here and then submit, all bows should now be extracted, and we should start to see all of these bows going into the trash. Hopefully. It looks like there may be a lot of bows. Oh, for some reason, it looks like it kept the NBT data. So let's resubmit this. And it still has the one tag for some reason. Let's see. We should be able to ignore this tag. There should not be any tag here. There we go. Now it should pull them all out, as you can see. And that means we probably also need to remove the tags here. It doesn't seem like me highlighting everything allows me to delete it. I have to actually remove everything with the backspace key in order to get it to effectively remove the tag. Interesting. Must be a bug. The good part about these pipes, though, is we can just keep adding all kinds of stuff. We can just keep going at it. Anything that we deem that we don't want, we can just keep adding it to the list, and it will always keep this nice and clean for us. Now, the only thing I have left to do is to add some really nice upgrades to most of these drawers, and then also migrate all of the items into these drawers as well. So I don't have all of these items sprawling all over the place. So I think today was quite productive. This is automated. Like, this is just running. Of course, there are ways to make this go faster. There are lilies from Reliquary. Now that we have the mob farm, it should be a whole lot easier to make them, and we should be able to make lily pads. So this will be able to speed this up, and essence shouldn't really be a problem anymore. Just from the short period I was gone, we've now got 16 Supremium essence built up in here. So quite effective, I must say. I think some of the next steps I want to take is going to be figuring out what storage mod I want to get into. Now, of course, we're using RF tools, but we want a mod that is going to allow us to automate productions of things and make our life a lot easier as we start to move into some more advanced mods. So I think we'll be getting into either refined storage or applied energistics. Let me know down in the comments below, which mod do you want to see me do, whether it's going to be refined storage or applied energistics. I would love to know down in those comments below. Now, of course, guys, if you've been enjoying this series thus far, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and ring that beautiful notification bell so you guys will know when I publish my next episode. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. I appreciate you guys so very much for doing that, and it does help the video out a lot. Also, it's now time to thank the supporter of today's video, as if I couldn't thank you enough. And that amazing thanks is going to go to, if I can spell, oh, there we go. That's going to go to KB11. I think I said that right. Thank you so much for your amazing support, by the way, over on the Discord, becoming a Discord premium member and supporting me in one of the best ways possible. And of course, guys, if that's something you're interested in, join the Discord, discord.gg/ChosenArchitect. I do hang out in the voice channels all the time. I'm currently in one right now, as you heard by the bullet. And I do appreciate you guys. I, of course, will see you in the next episode. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye.